Salutare, sunt Mihai Daniel, bun venit pe canalul Consultanță Cripto, bine v-am regăsit pe cei ce sunteți deja abonați ai acestui canal, bun venit celor noi. Așa cum vă promiteam acum câteva zile, un podcast de calitate cu un personaj extrem de interesant din lumea cripto, Davinci Jeremie. Cei ce vă uitați și la alte canale de cripto din afară, l-ați văzut cu Carl de Moon, l-ați văzut cu Crypto, l-ați văzut cu BitBoy, l-ați văzut cu multă lume din industria cripto și am zis că este normal să încerc să aduc oameni de valoare foarte mare și în podcasturi pentru România. Podcastul este în limba engleză, dar sunt sigur că marea majoritate dintre voi veți înțelege și nu fac probleme. Am să continui să fac genul ăsta de podcasturi cu oameni de calitate, pentru că România este o țară care merită să aibă informație de calitate. Vă doresc vizionare plăcută, toate cele bune. So, today with me I have Davinci Jeremie. It is very famous in the crypto space. You can see him a lot in the movies in YouTube, also with famous people like Carl de Moon, Crypto, and he is one of the few guys in the world that advised people in YouTube channel in 2013 to buy Bitcoin when Bitcoin was still below $1. So, Davinci, it is a very great pleasure for me to have you and to be able to present you to the Romanian audience. So, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, and it will
a lot of the people mistake that 2013 video blew up. I did that video in 2013 because I started in 2011 when the price was $1, and I was trying to convince my audience, my smaller audience at the time, to buy just $1 worth, even at $1, and they wouldn't even do that. And so I tried even when it was a higher price at the time. It was like about $100 when I did that video. Just get $1 worth, so you could see how this thing's gonna grow, and then you would be like, okay, you're gonna get it later. That's what was my objective of that video when I was doing that video, and I wasn't trying to have it go viral or anything like that. It just did on its own. I was just trying to communicate to my small audience, hey, you got to get a little bit of this technology, this Bitcoin, because you're going to be very happy if you do. And yeah, back in 2011, I started doing that. I started getting only a few people to buy. And in fact, I was so sure about Bitcoin, I actually insured the money of anybody who did buy the Bitcoin back then. I still have that video, if you go look for it, on my channel, where I offered to insure people's money that if you bought it. I have a lot of silver and gold, so I'd cover it if it went to zero. So I was so positive about this thing because this is a revolutionary technology that's going to change the world for the better, and most people will not attribute it to Bitcoin being making us into a new renaissance, but it will be, because once you allow people to freely transact and to save money, that's going to actually increase their wealth over time. The whole world shifts in a positive direction, and we've seen this time and time again through history, whenever we switched away from fiat systems that were destroying wealth to a gold system. So I'm looking forward to the future, and I'm glad to be on your show.
Thank you so much. You know, in Romania, most of the people, they have a short-term mentality. So when the market is going up, everybody's happy, everybody's buying, but most of the people are gambling. They are not actually investing in the technology or in the future of that. So I think we are still not far, you know. I don't know for your audience, but in my case, I can see that very clearly every day, that people, they lose trust. If Bitcoin is like 2 months going down, the people will lose faith. And I am trying to convince them that Bitcoin can go down, but it will go up. It will go up in value, and I think we will go above 100K. That is my view. Maybe it will be this year, maybe not, but we will arrive there. What is your opinion about Bitcoin in the short-term perspective?
Yeah, short term, we're going to see a lot of volatility with Bitcoin because most people who come into this space, they come in because price go up and I want to get in, and then they don't understand what they're buying. And so when price go down, they want to get out. So they panic sell. And that's why you
But
see
what is your advice for people, for example, when they buy high and the price go down? What is the best advice that you give to the people?
Well, it depends on what. If they dollar cost average, they should just continue buying in, right? Because this is a long term asset. Even if you bought at 65,000, which you shouldn't have done, but if you did, you could just hold it, right? Because I know people who bought at the top, the $20,000 top, and now they're up, they're up,
Yeah,
right?
they are on
So
positive side.
exactly. So that's going to happen, right? If you bought at 65,000, or if you bought at 40,000, or even 50,000, it doesn't matter. You're going to turn. That's gonna be irrelevant. That number will be like, oh my God, you actually got it at 65,000. Wow, you're great. People will be applauding you, right? Because remember, I bought the top of the first bull run, which was $32. so yeah, everybody was laughing at me, thinking I was an idiot, as price went back down to $2. But I kept buying, and because I knew where this thing was going. And yeah, I mean, am I an idiot now because I hit the $32 mark?
No, but to make a comparison, it is like the price will go now from $32,000 to $2,000. That is from 32 to $2. People, they don't think and they don't understand that things like this can happen. And even now, you know, with the events on the grayscale on the 18th July and the podcast with Jack Dorsey and Elon Musk, a lot of things can happen. But, you know, most of the people, they don't understand. Even the Bitcoin is going down to 10,000. It will not stay there forever. It will be a huge buying opportunity.
Exactly. And you know, it's so hard for people to buy and hold, because I've had many girlfriends that I've helped buy crypto, and most of them ended up selling halfway through the bull run. And they end up going, oh no, I'll buy back later when it's down, right? And I'm like, you'll never do that. That never happens. So if somebody's out there watching this show and they're thinking, well, you know what, I'll just sell now and buy back later, it does not happen. I guarantee you're not going to do that.
It's not working like that.
Nobody does that, right? They end up just forgetting about it, and then you know the price. Then they hear about, oh, wait a minute, that's over 65,000. Oh darn, I sold it at 30,000. Right? So,
yeah, exactly. You know, I had a lot of clients. They buy the top in the region of the top in 2017-18, around $18,000, and guess what? They sell this year when it was like 28, 27. They wait 2 years and they sell only with very, very small profit. It's incredible. So I think people, they have to understand the vision. It is one thing that you play with Bitcoin from one day to another to make some profits. You don't care about the price. You care about only the margin. But in the long run, I mean, I don't see another investment in this planet that you can do to have the same return of investment each year.
Exactly. There's nothing else that will ever get you the kind of returns that Bitcoin will do when it's finished, when it becomes money. Because there's going to be a day when everybody's using it, and when it is that occurs, then that occurs, they're going to be talking about all those people who held it from now until, or from the very beginning until the end when it became money, or from now until it became money. There's going to be talk about how that person was just amazing, how they did that as the price volatility occurred. And if you do that, you're going not only be considered talked about, you're going to also be super wealthy. Right?
Yeah.
But
I have a question I think all the people have in the head, and I think you are the right person because you are in the game for long term. What do you think it will be the top for Bitcoin? What will be the maximum value?
Maximum value, actual Bitcoin for Bitcoin price will probably it'll be irrelevant to be measured in dollars because it will be the money. But if you were to say, okay, what will require a Bitcoin to be actual money and be ready for everybody to just use in transaction? What's the valuation? Well, the valuation comes to around about 100 trillion dollars in total value market cap. 100
Wow.
trillion in today's value of dollars.
Yeah.
Approximately, right? It could be
It
more.
will be like 3 million.
Could be less. So that works out.
Jesus.
Yeah.
3 million for one Bitcoin.
Yeah, it works out to yeah.
I think a little bit more, considering that about 5 million are lost.
Exactly. So that's why it could be more or less between that, around that 100 million mark. It could be like 80 trillion, or it could be as even high as like 200 trillion because of the amount of assets and stuff that exists. But yeah, something like that. It has to offset every single asset basically. And you can say, well, why is Bitcoin going to be the only money? Trust me. Think about this. Let me explain why. If you're thinking, why is Bitcoin going to be the only money? Why not Ethereum? Why not this? Why not that? Then you do not understand what Bitcoin can do. Let me explain it to you. Okay, Bitcoin, because it's a proof of work system, right? That means you can't go back and change the past. You can try, you could come up with some sort of solution and it will all fail. Because the reason why is that in order to go back in time, you have to stop all transactions, go back in time, let's just say 2 weeks back, rewrite all the history, right? And that will take 2 weeks. Now, that's assuming everybody agrees to that, which they won't.
They won't. There is a lot of speculation this year that Ethereum will go above in value and it will be the number one. Myself, I don't think so.
For a short while, it will. For a short while, Ethereum can do that because of its future aspects of what it can do. Unfortunately, the difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin, because they're effectively two different types of assets, is that Ethereum is a more of a contract-based system which does have the ability to roll back. It can be rolled back. You can go back and roll back what the history and re-edit the whole history instantly because of this break fix feature where they have to like release new software to everybody every time they upgrade it or break something and find something that's broken and they have to fix it. So everyone gets new software. Whilst Bitcoin, what people don't know is that the first version of Bitcoin still runs and works today on the same protocol and works just fine. And you could actually send and receive Bitcoins on the very first version. And what does that mean? What does that mean to you? Most people are like, okay, great. I'm not going to run that. Yeah, you're right. But right now we have satellites, we have embedded systems, all running Bitcoin, have hard-coded systems running Bitcoin protocol, reading the Bitcoin protocol. And if we make any kind of major change, all of those things break. So do you think we're going to break all of those things? I don't think so. I don't think so. So yeah, that's the power. That's the power, right, of Bitcoin going forward, right? Even though we're doing upgrades right now, we are still doing upgrades. It's more of just adding to the language because the protocol is a language, just adding to the language. So the first version still just all of a sudden just listening to language and it doesn't understand, it just ignores it. But meanwhile, right, it could still transact on the same protocol because the newer version understands the older version's language, right? So it can continue to upgrade and there's not a problem. So it's so beautiful that way that, you know, businesses, they hate making changes to their protocol. They want to build something and then they have a base that helps them move forward. That's what Bitcoin provides. A solid base of money that you can use, right? Money system that you could use and you know that it's not going to change, not going to break on you, and it's solid and is there always, permanently. So you can run a piece of software that will always work permanently and give you access to money. The most important, the 50% of all transactions is the only other thing that's used 50% of everything that we have is money. And you have to understand that key concept because people think money's magic. No, it's not. Money's no different than the cell phone, the computer you're using, the flowers that I have here. It's just a thing. It's just a thing. It just happens to be the one thing that 50% of all assets are valued against.
Correct. And what do you think about this year? We are going to hit the 100K or not?
Oh, definitely. I think we're going to see something very spectacular in the next coming bull run because of what the Federal Reserve is committed to doing. what corporations are understanding what they have to do in order to survive. And so this is going to, I think eventually we'll see inflation expectations start to ramp up, and then it's going to be absolutely incredible.
And one more question. A lot of people are asking every day in Romania, do you think we are in the bear market now?
We're probably in a short-term bear market, but once this short-term bear market turns around, I think it's going to be epic. Basically, the epic turnaround that most people will be like flabbergasted at, basically.
And do you think it is a good idea that people keep some money in stable coins and wait for the good moment, or they should go in now and they buy and they don't care about the price? Because if, for example, if in 3 months we go to 100K, what is the difference if we buy today 33 or 34 or 35? There's no difference.
Yeah, right. That's right. Here's the problem, right? When you we don't know. I can tell you that with a 70% chance, Bitcoin's going down below the $30,000 mark. 70% chance. You're like, I don't think I'll wait for that. That's great, but there's also a 30% chance it goes up. It never breaks below the 30,000 mark.
Yeah, and usually when Bitcoins go up, they go fast.
Exactly. And so because you don't know for sure which way it's going to go, and there's only the percentage chance is still pretty high that it could go up. 30% is pretty good. It still is not the greatest chance, but it's still a good chance that it could go up. The best thing for you to do is just a dollar cost average. What dollar cost average it means is just basically decide, okay, every week I'm going to put in $100, right? So if you've got a big chunk of money, right, and you just want to go, screw it, I'm going to put it all in right now. Don't do that. Just go, okay, I'm going to split it into 20, and every week or every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, I don't care, whatever it is. So make sure you have a set schedule. You put in 1/20th of that total amount that you wanted to put into Bitcoin. So this way, if price goes down, which has a 70% chance of happening, well, you got a discount. If price goes out, well, you know what? You bought low. So yeah, you win either way.
Where do you think it is theoretically the bottom? If we go down below 30K, where do you think we should expect to land?
The lowest price projection I have is like 17K, but we might turn around the 25K and then reverse at that level. We have to see. We have to wait and see as price starts to break down below 30K, because there's still hasn't done that yet. Still might not do that. Odds are against that not happening, but but it's still a possibility, because remember, a lot of corporations out there are now talking about how inflation is going to dangerously affect them, and affect their cash flow, affect their bottom line, affect their cash on their balance sheet, and their assets, and they need to be able to protect themselves from this upcoming inflation. And Bitcoin, right, when you compare it to gold, right, where you would have to like use hypothecated gold, and it doesn't move, right, because you're not moving the price, because you're buying paper gold, which is just somebody else, 100 other people own the same paper gold. Once they realize that, then they realize, wait a second, well, this thing's not hypothecated, Bitcoin, and it's not going anywhere. Oh boy, oh boy.
And also in Romania, they have I see, in the daily, in the comments, people expect from people like myself, like you, like Carl the Moon, like Crypto, they think we have a ball, like crystal, we can see the future. And, I try to tell to the people that it is probabilities, because, for example, I tell them we can reach 37 and we go below that and we go down. Bitcoin is volatile. So when I do that prediction, it is like a technical analysis, and I talk about probabilities. But people, most of the people, they look at people like us, and they say, you told me it will go 25. It is not going. You don't know. So people, they need to understand that this is not something fixed. You cannot predict.
No, not at all. Because you don't know when Tim Cook goes, you know what? screw it, I'm going all in. Right?
Yes.
Right? You just can't.
I mean, if I know that after 2 days Bitcoin is 25, I know for sure. I take all the money that I can get. I go in, and if I know that, in fact, we know. I used to tell to people in 2016 that Bitcoin will go more than 5,000. Nobody believed. Now I believe that Bitcoin will go more than 80K, 90K. So it is many people, they miss the opportunity to make money. They know it will go up, but they don't want to wait. That is the problem with the people.
They don't. That's the patience is really difficult for most people. They want their overnight millions, right? There's a joke going around this on TikTok where this lady's like, I bought crypto yesterday, and today I'm not a multimillionaire. Why do bad things happen to good people?
And I don't know if you met this, but I have a lot of clients. They didn't take profit of their money. I had people, they go from 100K to 800K. They didn't sell. They didn't sell at 700, at 600, 500. Now they are where they started. People, they don't take profits. For example, in Bitcoin, it is when you go 65, you can exit and accumulate lower. Every month, Bitcoin is up and down, minimum 10%. That means a chance to accumulate.
Yes. But I mean, there's always a way to like trade the tops and bottoms, but at the same time, right? You're taking a risk, right? And most people can't handle the trading. Like, oh, I'm going to sell near the top, right? Because let's just say you sold near the top, because nobody sells at the top. You sold around the $55,000 mark, right? You probably saw it. Maybe you sold before the 65, and then you're freaking out, right? You're going, oh my God, it's going higher. I'm screwed. And then it comes back down, and then you go, okay, no, good. And then it goes back up to 60,000. You're like, oh my God, what did I do? And most people FOMO back in, and then that's how they lose their money. So it's not an easy task to do, right? And so I don't recommend it for most people. If you want to be rich, like one of my ex-girlfriends, who I got into Bitcoin, she totally forgot about it. Didn't look at the price, didn't see it. Went past the 2017 mark, bull market, went back down to 3,000, went back, and then up to this 65,000. And when she called me up, I said, "Girl, you didn't sell that Bitcoin before?" I'm like, "No." The last 5 years? No. Girl, you're a multimillionaire, right? And that's all it took, right? She's just not looking at all the ups and downs, and she's multimillionaire and happy, right? But most people just can't seem to like, oh, I'll just buy and put it away and not watch all the gyrations, and because that's easier. That will get you there.
But I am 40. A lot of people have this age. For me, if you ask me, would you bet on the fund pension or in the Bitcoin? I will go all day with Bitcoin, because in 10 years, 20 years, when I will have the age for retirement, for sure I will have much more money than the government will give me. So
definitely. I mean, that's like a no-brainer. So if you're like thinking about, if you're thinking in that lines, right, and you ignore the noise between now and the time you retire, that's a no-brainer.
So, Davinci, it was a great pleasure for me to have you. Thank you very much. My Romanian community will appreciate for sure. I will leave below your YouTube channel, Twitter channel, and everything. So maybe we will meet again. I'm coming to Dubai in September, October. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Cheers.